trying to set this up right. Don't seem like I'm getting very far with it, but I'm going to make the best out of it. What I have here, okay? So here we are with a message this morning for the early birds. Yeah, for the early birds. This title is You Are Not Alone. Trust me. If you feel alone, let me tell you, believe me, you are not alone. I think about people who feel alone, young and old, how they don't have their family around them, spending time with them, doing things with them. And that it's young and old is feeling alone. I know a lot of you all might think it's just the elderly or those that are in different senior citizen uh, living, uh, but or environment. But I tell you, we are not alone. There are many young people today, more so, feeling alone than there are elders. This is why you got a high suicide rate going on at this time, not just among young people, but also uh, brown skinned men. There's a high rate of suicide. And the only reason why you all are not aware of it is because we're in a system and in a country that does not allow certain things to be uh, revealed. But a lot of people right now in this day, right now, I mean, like right now, in this day, you feel alone and you have every reason to feel alone because you know what alone feel like. And can't nobody tell you don't have that feeling. And I say unto you that even though a lot of the feeling is coming from feeling alone because of what you see. You see yourself alone, so you feel alone. A lot of people, they see themselves alone, and this make them feel alone. And Sister Deborah is going somewhere with this message because there is a lot of people, right? Like I said, right here today, this feeling like, I'm in this, by myself. By myself, as well as just think how the elders can look at the young, or even the young can look at the elders. You see how both ends could help one another. This is the reality. Both of them can help one another, but family have broken up so bad to where the young people is on one end and the elders on another end, and those that's in the center is the troublemakers. That's the young adults, not the young adults. That is the adults. They're the troublemaker for the family itself because they stand in the gap of where they can make a difference. They can make a difference as far as branching the young with the elders and the elders with the young. So you see that middle barrier is there, and that is the adults that's in between the two. Because the elders would perk up or light up if they had an opportunity to see and to be around their grandchildren, their great grand, you know, even their adult children. And the adult children will allow the elders to be in tune with the grandchildren and the great grandchildren. But you see the division is there. And it's the adults in the middle who allow this loneliness to exist. You see, there are many people who have children and who don't have children. They got nieces and nephews. I mean, all over the place. But the middle person, the one in the middle that will stop the nieces and nephews from spending time with their aunts and their uncles. Okay, because what they're doing today is everybody is saying, well, you know, you and I'm elder and you young, and the middle, the ones in the middle is the one that keeping up the chaos, because they were the one that could have kept the family intact, but they found reason to divide the elders from the young, and to where it's at today, both sides are lonely. This is why you see a lot of young people committed suicide. You see a lot of, I mean, y'all don't see it because this country ain't gonna let you be revealed what's actually going on right before your face. That's why I say a lot of people, you are not alone, is because in the space where it feels like you're lonely and you're off to yourself and you're off by yourself, and all these feelings of the flesh is taking over you, and it will, and that's the norm. That's why it's so important to have a relationship with the unseen that can come in and fill that void. You see, that void of loneliness that one might feel. You get what I'm saying? And the same thing with the young people. It would, wait a minute, let me get this here together. It can feel the same thing with the young people. It can overshadow that void that they feel like life is not worth living, or there's nothing this life is worth living, or it ain't nothing this world can offer them. Do you know that's, if you could just sit down and talk with the young people, you can hear the hurt, the pain, the heartache. Let me tell you what they told me. I was at a baby shower, and the nieces and nephews that were there, all I kept hearing, and my daughter too, my oldest daughter, they kept talking about drinking, going somewhere and drink. And the whole conversation kept talking about drinking. And here are all my nieces and nephews and them excited. I turned around and asked them, don't y'all, ain't it something better to do? Don't y'all have something better to do? The oldest niece turned to me and said, Auntie, we ain't got nothing else to do but to drink. And I'm like saying, oh my goodness, is that all they have to do? See, the mentality. And they have no idea. Alcohol brings you to a lonely state of mind. Alcohol will bring your mind to one of the loneliest state of mind. Even when you ain't lonely, that alcohol will take you there. You see what I'm saying? It interferes with your emotions and your feelings. But here are all the aunts and all the nieces and nephews. She turned to me and said, Auntie, it ain't nothing else to do but to drink. I said to myself, you gotta be kidding me. I said, it's a lot of things. That's what I said. But that was like 6 years ago. But still, this is the mindset of the young people today. Is that this world has nothing to offer them outside of the things of darkness. the things that causes them to feel lonely, and causes them to feel that they're just out there, you see. And this is how it's set up for them. And believe it or not, it is set up for them. But it's not like it's someone's fault that set it up for them. And that's something they don't understand. So what do? They search the things that they do that they know that it doesn't feel good. And they know that it's not something they want to do. So they got to find a just reason of why they do it. So the only reason the young people have to blame for their loneliness, y'all, for their bad choices, for the things that they do that they have not conquered. They try to look over to the parents and say, okay, well, mama was able to do this and daddy was able to do this, but why is it I can't master anything? So they have only one choice, is to blame someone else for the choices that they cannot reach or they cannot conquer, anything in the choices that they make. And then the only way that they can blame, only way that they can feel better about themselves. Now, I want y'all to hear me. The only way the young people feel better about themselves if they have someone to blame. That's the only way. And here you got the elders. They're lonely because the young people are set aside away from them. But it's something wrong with that middle, in the middle. And that is the adults that have built this bridge that the elders and the young are feeling this way. So when you ever decide, just do it for your state alone. Because once you do it for the state that you're in, you'll find out that, wait a minute, if it's like this in my state, it's like this all over this country. And that is the suicide rate. That's across the board, y'all. The suicide rate for young people. And now, since 2000, or no, since I think it was 2018, there has been a high level of said suicide rate amongst brown skinned people, men. Now, that's what was said. I don't know how true that is. But what I'm saying, y'all, these people are taking and ending their life and others because of this topic we're on right now. Being alone. We are not alone, but we feel we're alone, and can't nobody tell us we're not alone. Because once that brain start functioning to a level where I'm alone and can't nobody tell me I'm not, because I see myself, I feel myself being alone, and these feelings are real. And for you to think that you can tell someone that's at that breaking point, those feelings that you're having, you need to not feel that way. You can't, it ain't that easy, y'all. It ain't that simple. It's real. It's real. You see? So the bridge is the adults that's separating the young from the elder, and the elders from the young. We as adults can bridge that gap. We can actually bridge that gap. Because believe it or not, let me give you an example of what made me come up with this topic. I thought about my mother, who is 91 or 2, and she lives by herself. She got her own car. She takes care of herself. She pays her own bills. Well, here it is. She got grandchildren and she got great grandchildren. Okay. So my mother is the oldest relative that is living at this time. So that's on my side. So I have a son, and I got up this morning and it dawned on me that, wait a minute, my son just had a baby 3 months ago, and my mother have not seen the baby. Now I want y'all to tell me now. Somebody let me know and put it in the comment if what you think about what I'm saying. So her mom, she's the oldest. Back, I think, by history and by the norm of how it was important to make sure that the child that's coming in is hand to the oldest, and the oldest blessed also, you know, that child, not in the way that you have no insight on what it is or on how to bless that young that's coming in. But I reared up because I said, wait a minute. Now I'm gonna show y'all exactly how I am, and that's really why I brought this message. You are not alone. Is when I think about my son and his wife have taken their baby all around his wife's family, okay, and have not taken little man to the oldest relative that he has on the face of the earth. Her side is much younger than my side, okay? So therefore, you want to take your babe to your grandmother's house so your grandmothers can eye to eye your newborn that's coming in, okay? And send her blessings on little Joe, or to little Joe, or through little Joe. It is his responsibility as a man, not wait for his wife to make that decision, because she won't. And not because she's a bad person, she's an evil person and all that. No, we ain't playing that right now. But the idea of times you have to step in the way you were brought up. Mm, mm. So I got a little fierce, because the way I'm going to approach the matter, I'm going to have to kind of come down, kind of calm down, because the first thing I wanted to do is head to the phone and let him know that, wait a minute, hold up. Your grandmother is the oldest relative of your baby, your first son, your first child. Get your butt and take that baby this weekend over to my mother's house. It's sad that I have to say that. It's sad that I have to tell him that, because that's what bothers me. Because you get tired of being that middle person, having to make the choice to speak toward the young and speak toward the elder. So I got up and I'm just reared up, and I started to text, but I knew I was coming from a corner that I should not. So I had to kind of calm myself down. And I said, that's a good topic to talk about, because it's not just what I'm saying, it's the reality. It's the reality. So when I approach him regarding him taking little Joe over there to my mom's, so she can see y'all, her last, and we ain't saying it's her last, but the last one that has been brought into the world. Okay? And he might not, and he most likely won't remember, but it'll leave an impact. It'll leave an impact on the father being able to tell his son when he come up, when he get older, your grandmother got an opportunity to see you. She held you. Y'all get what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is, I'm that middle person that I was talking about. You see how the middle person plays that big role in mending a lot of things that's going on amongst families, amongst friends, amongst any situation, even in your community. It's always the middle person, because you can get the young people to do something for the elders that have changed the young people's mind. Because I I believe a lot of the elders have a word for the young. You can't tell these young people nothing nowadays. You can't tell them nothing. But what the young would have to lead them would be a spiritual token that will live with them the rest of their living. Because right now, the young people, you can't tell them nothing. And that's why it's important for those in the middle to make a difference, because you can make a difference, and it's hard for those that's in the middle to make a difference because the young people don't even listen to them. That's reality. They don't even listen to the ones that can make the adults that's in the middle. And don't think that this is not a situation that just come up out of nowhere. This is also written somewhere in the order, in the way it is going, and in the way it's going to continue to go. It is written somewhere, y'all. So even my topic saying we are not alone, or you are not alone, understand, because it is written somewhere high above what we can see and understand in our mentality. It is written that everything that's taking place, y'all, is written somewhere to take place at this moment, minute, second, hour, year, day, month. That's that, having that reason. The Father in the kingdom has a reason for everything. He has a will that is wrote in and wrote out. And for his name's sake are these things applied. It ain't important that we get it. We think we got it. We feel we got it. We running like we got it. The reality is you're not alone. You're not in this alone. It is already written. But the thing about the adults, they can heal a lot of what's going on as far as the young people. And the young people can make a difference in their own living to detach to the elders, and the vice versa. It's the middle person that can branch that a little bit better. And the middle person is also bringing in the division. The ones in the middle are the ones that's bringing the division. And let me tell you why. I blame myself first. That's where the fears came in. Wait a minute, no, I know how to make a difference. I know how to step into any situation. I know how to do that. But I sat back and I realized my grandson is 3 months old. And I have not said to my son, hey, bro, take that baby over there too. It's grandma. You see? And another thing came to me. I know this wrong, y'all. This is not right. They sent me all the pictures of the baby this past weekend at the zoo. The baby 3 months. He's at the zoo, but he has never seen his grandmother. What make a person mind think that a 3-year-old can be at the zoo, but you don't have the mind to take him to his family? And this is the weight of where also, I know you all have read it because it's in there probably 10 times, where it tells you how the mother against the daughter-in-law and the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law. And then when you really look it up, you see where it's more so vice versa, that the daughter-in-law against the mother. It's in there twice without the mother being against the daughter-in-law. So I always put that before the Most High to find out what is that about, because it doesn't say the son-in-law against the father-in-law, but why the daughter-in-law? It's because there's always a battle with females trying to find their place in this world, period. when they feel they're trying to, uh, I would say, capture something, and they want it to be all about them. So it's like a battle. I got to make sure I feel that this is mine and all mine. And when I'm ready for my husband to spend this time, then I will give him permission because it's about me and mine. So the father was telling me, explaining to me about that, about how it's a game that they play. They know that the son has a love for their mother, and the mother has a love for their son because they got years of that. So this other entity that's coming in, which is a wife, that he has to leave the mother and cleave to the wife. Now, what a lot of people didn't understand and still ain't, and it's, I look back at the idea of how so much was left here for us to take a hold of, but 99.9 still don't grip it. The whole idea of him leaving his mother and father was leaving them not by love, what the world called love, not by relationship. Do you leave that relationship? But you leave them to detach to someone else, to bring forth children, to bring forth a oneness, to really be whole. But it doesn't tell you to leave your mother and father as if you're leaving and you're detaching from them and you cleaving to wife as if leaving a relationship or leaving the presence of your parents. So this is what the daughter-in-law has in their heart. And it's not going to make, I'm not going to make the biblical a lie. I'm not going to say, well, that part is a lie, because I think that study guide that speaks of that gives a really clear ideal of how mother and daughter-in-law against each other. It gives a clear picture of it, because what is it that would make the mother feel she's losing something after having something for 25 years, 30 years? What will make a woman feel she's losing a son when you didn't have him that many years? Now, I'm sure there's mothers that feel, probably do. Most likely there is. That's another detachment to why there's a division. But what happens is when a man it become a oneness with a woman, the woman has to, in some reason, somewhere along the line, allow his family be just important as her family, but they don't. They feel that their family is more important than your family. And if the man don't step up and step out on that, then he create an environment and a mindset in his wife that it's all about your family. So this is where the division comes in. Because I asked the father, why is that necessary? Could that be a lie? Yeah, I said that for years. I said it for years. But until the day they said I do, and I saw the transition, I would have said that's a lie always, because that's how well we got along. Until they said I do. And it was over, y'all. That relationship, I would never see it to be the same. It was over. You see? So with him as a son that knows that he has a family as well, but the men are weak in this area. They're very weak in this area. They always seem to put the wife family on a pedestal. And they never think that, wait a minute, let not me make her family and show her family is more important than mine. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. The Spirit spoke to me today and said that even that situation I cannot put on Joseph, because Joseph is always trying to work on making sure that my family is still my family. So he does work on that, but you can see it falling away. So when I woke up this morning and I thought about how lonely the elders could be, and it's no reason for them to feel that lonely, and how my mother, I went over there last week. I'm going over there probably this Friday, but I'm gonna have him to take that baby over there. Call his granny and tell her he's gonna bring little Joe over. Take that baby over there. You see what I'm saying? Since I'm living, I'm going to have to be that one that's stand in a gap to where really I feel tired. I feel worn out, because it's like, why do you have to be the one that has to stand in the gap for others that feel, living in this world is just me, and mine's. I'm going this way, and the other one saying I'm going this way. You know, um, as I told my children, I tell them, I said, go over there and see your grandmother. You see, that's that middle person I'm telling you about. Stop what you're doing and find the time to do it. You see what I'm saying? That's that middle person I said makes a difference in the two. Don't go around making these young people think that you shouldn't spend time with the elders. I don't care if they your aunt, your uncles, your great uncle, your great aunt, your grandmother, your great great grandmother. Take out time to bring the young to a state of mind where they need to spend time with the elders. Okay? And if the elders knows how to get around and they still grandmother who's still, moving about, you also can bring it to the grandparents in how to go to different things that the young people are having, like a baby shower. My mother go to every event everybody was having, even this grandson. She went to his event for his baby shower. You see, my mother go to all those events. We as her children see to it that she see and is connected to all the events that we're all are having. But when she get there, she's the oldest, and that's fine. But what is happening and where we're at in this day and time, people feel that they don't have time for one or the other. But the middle individual have no idea that you have passed the way of your children and their children. You're past that state. You're heading to that elder state. So guess what? While you in between, you thinking you ain't gonna reach that side on this side. Oh yes, you're gonna reach that side, and you're gonna reap what you sow. So don't think that cause you the middle, you in the middle in the center, and they on the young people on one side and the elders on the other side, and shoot, you in between. And hey, I don't care what they do their thing, and they do they. Oh no. That's a bad spirit, but that's the spirit that's out here. That's why young people are having a lot of suicide, and that's why elders are so alone and they dying alone. It felt so good for my mother to tell me how she felt that God has blessed her with the most wonderful children that has truly taken care of her. And she just started crying. She said, y'all just been really took care of me. And she just started crying. Oh yes, baby, we're gonna back her up. We're gonna be there. Okay. She ain't missing out on anything. You see? So that's going back. That's why I can say something to you all. That's why I try to explain to you all. It's not often that a person can step in situation and have the power and the authority to speak the way that they speak. Many of you all are on these devil platforms, listen to all this chaos and all this darkness. Because honestly, you are. You are entertaining Satan and darkness and wicked and evil and have no idea within your flesh. It's not telling you that's all you entertaining. These people cannot tell you anything. Why? People. If people don't have spirit and truth in the light, you have to have the testimonies that spirit and truth and the light has set before you. You have to be able to talk to people based on what you yourself have stepped into it. He said, through your testimonies, let me say that again. Through your testimonies, can you tell somebody something? But you can't tell nobody nothing if you ain't gone through nothing to tell anybody anything. I think about how the three deaths of my children. I think about how the Father has allowed these things to come upon my living just so I can tell somebody something. The suicide of my oldest that's living today. I can tell somebody something. I remember going into the schools during the time where everybody was grandma. And I can go into the school system and I felt really good about it because I can sit amongst a different generation and still have something to say. Why? Because I had a daughter that was born in a different generation that made me an elder, but yet she was young, so I knew what the young people were going through during that time because I had her at 43. So therefore, when I go around them, just imagine now, she's in high school, I'm up in my 50s, you see? Or she's in eighth grade, I'm at the track meet. And, I'm there supporting her even as an elder or going into my years of being an elder. Okay, so you see what I'm saying? It made me feel good because when people try to talk to me, I let them know, hey, I got a daughter in your generation. What are you talking about? And they be like, you ain't got no daughter that young. Yes, I do. You see, so I was always, it's almost like the steps that he ordered in my living was ordered so that I can tell somebody something. That's what it was all about. And I know that. I wouldn't even need nobody to tell me that. I already know that. Because I look back over my living and I said, wait a minute, that ain't me. Uh-uh. No, Father, I didn't go through that. Oh, no, I didn't go through that. That didn't happen to me. I'm telling y'all, sometimes you have to be, you be there. Because you're trying to figure out when I went through that, I came out of that. That happened to me. You see, because the testimonies, it's not something that you're supposed to be shocked of. It's supposed to be wrapped around you so you can tell somebody something. So I speak unto many that are uncles and aunts, even cousins, that's elders, parents, grandparents, that's up in age. You're not alone. You're not alone. It's just a system that wants you to think and feel alone because they're geared to tearing up the family, and they successfully did it. They did a successful job. When I think of me, y'all, I can tell somebody something. Hey, my mother and father had 7 children. We lived comfortable. Not only that, okay, we had the same parents. My father had no children outside the house. I had to go to school in elementary. When I got to that 6, 7, and 8 grade, I was the only student that had a 2-parent in the household. See, that was back in my way back. So that's why I say you can't really tell me far back and tell me something when you don't know nothing. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying to you, I had a father that never been in jail. I had a father that never been known to be around any chaos, be around the humblest man that probably was on the face of the earth. So I'm just trying to show you what y'all blessed me with coming in. Woo, tell him, Deborah. You see what he blessed me with coming in? So I'm telling y'all, when I'm trying to speak to you all, I'm trying to take y'all to a realm where I'm the one that can tell you something. But see, the one that y'all send to tell you something is the least, is the one that nobody wants to hear. And do you know that too is written? So that's good too. Because he only sending them to those that he is sending down or he has invested himself in to hear. So I can't say that I come from a bad family. Oh, my mother them did this to me. My daddy did this to me. They did. No, I couldn't tell you my dad was like what I see today in these men. I would be lying. I would be lying. I would be telling you a straight up lie if I was to tell you that's who my dad was. But I will not tell you. I will not lie to you and tell you yesterday was better than today. I will tell you and anybody else, look you in your eyes and tell you today is a carbon copy of yesterday that was hidden. What you see today is the wicked that was hidden all the time. But when I even go back to my family and I look back, the only darkness that I received was not my dad and my mother and my upbringing. So what I believe, what I don't believe, without a doubt, that family was sealed by the Holy Spirit. You see? Because when it go back to his family, his mother had, he had a different father. The oldest had a different father. And I think the middle had a different father. And then the other three had a different father. He never got the chance to know his father, see his father. He never had that opportunity. And somewhere in him, he had different characteristics. He didn't have eyes like us. My dad, okay? His eyes, gray, yellow, green. I think they call it hazel eyes. He had it brown, but it was mostly light brown. So his skin, his hair was like, you know how baby hair is? That's how his hair was. He had real soft hair. Let's put it like that, like a baby's hair. You see? So he can't. His other sisters and siblings were dark skin. He was a lighter skin. He had freckles. He just was a different looking person toward all his siblings. Now they all had that hair, but it was just that which I heard my grandmother had. But the men that she had these children by, you can tell all the children looked different. Let's put it like that. So when I came along, it was my mom and my dad. That was the connection that y'all had put together. And my mom and dad had children that never been to jail, that never been on drugs, that never been on alcohol or had an alcohol addiction. They went to college. They worked. Let me tell y'all something else about my family. My dad always wanted to work two jobs. When he worked two jobs, that's all I always known him to do. My mom, did they have to? No. Mom would work a job and hey, quit whenever she wanted to. But dad would always work a job and have a second job that he worked maybe 3 days, 2 or 3 days a week. But he was a welder, okay? I mean, and he was about taking care of his family, making sure his family didn't be in need for anything. What he left us an inheritance? Yes, yes he did. My mom sold it out, but whatever. We can't keep holding that. But I'm just trying to show you that y'all set me up so well, you know. And I look back at my living and I realize you really set me up good, didn't you? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He set me up in the type of family that I needed to come out of. to be what he wanted me to be. That's why I don't listen to nobody tell me nothing. I don't listen to nobody tell me nothing. I listen to the Holy Spirit that's in me that leads and guides me. And that's the one that speaks to me. Why would I listen? Tell me, somebody tell me, why would I listen to the world when I got something in me greater than the world itself? Does that make sense? If it makes sense, if you can make it make sense, a different sense to you than what way I done said, make it make sense and let me know. I don't really need to know because it ain't gonna make sense, but whatever. You see? So when Sister Deborah is on here, let me tell y'all, the downfall that I have in my spirit and in my flesh, I'm gonna go and tell it, is to realize that you're greater than who your flesh is. You know how even when a young person, when I was a teenager, I always felt that whatever it is that is invested in me is greater than what is on the outside of me. And if you pass up what's on the outside, you done passed up what's greater on the inside. That's how I always see it. And I see it that way too. Because I look at it like this. Okay, Father, the route, the way. And if we don't go the way, what other way is there? See, it's only two ways, baby. You either go to the way of the left or you go to the way of the right. Many people try to go in the center. And they're content. They're content just, hey, I can cut both the left and the right out. I can go straight in the center. But with a center, going through the center, will it get you or let you arrive on the right side? No, you won't. Most likely, 100%, you're going to end up on the left. Even though you chose to, hey, I'm going to go in the center. So I don't have to be on the right and I don't have to be on the left. I'm going to go straight in the middle. But when you get through the middle and you go all the way through, then where do you go from there? Now it's time to determine where you're going to spend eternal, which way you're going. Because the right, you have to be 100% on the right. The left, you don't have to be 100% on the left. But on that right, you have to be 100%. So you ain't going to be able to go to the right for eternal. So you're going to have to take the trail to the left. See, people don't understand that. It ain't that they don't, it ain't that people are not caught up. They got so many cares of the world, like the other seeds, the 3 seeds that was planted on the earth. They had too many issues on this earth, in this world, to be caught up in eternal. I'm not worried about eternal. I'm not worried about where I'm going to go from here to this. Let me go. Because people got this mindset that eternal is not a place you worry about on this side. Do you know only on this side dictate what side you're going for eternal? So why is it you're not supposed to focus on it? You're not supposed to be concerned about it? On this side, you just cross that bridge when you get there, which there won't be a bridge that you can cross. You would just step right in it. You see? And people are not concerned. They're not concerned about the actions they take, the way that they're walking into stuff, the way they coming out of stuff, the way they doing things, the way they think about things, the way they feel about things. This is why so much destruction is in the land. Something happened to me. Now I'm gonna bring back. You are not alone. I'm gonna bring that back up to the focus. But I want to share something with you, and it threw me all the way off last night. I'm sitting here watching YouTube, and I'm sitting here listening, and this man say, these people don't know, they don't see what's going on. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? He said, they don't see what's going on. And he began to talk about volcanoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, so many. And he just in this look on his face. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? Oh, but when he said something to me about the locusts, Sister Girl went in there, got ready for bed. I had to lay down on that one. I had to shut that man off. lay down on it, lay in that bed. I got back up, keyed it in. Revelation chapter 8 told us about the locusts. You mean the locust has hit the land and ain't nobody saying nothing about it? You see, I am a grateful individual that y'all gonna come one way or another to me to let me know. When this man said it, did you know I was saying, but I ain't heard it. I heard the earthquakes, and I already told people, you know, that y'all all that stuff is coming. But the locust, and you know how many times I read that? And you mean to tell me it already took place? People, I think about where he say, be ready and be found doing. Be ready and be found doing. Be ready and be found doing. And I'm like saying, who are you talking to? Who you telling to be ready? Who are you talking to? Not realizing that the gate is just that narrow. I never would have put the gate to be connected to just that alone. Because when he asked me these questions about what is it I see in me, I already know he sees all things. He knows all things. So why is he asking me? I had to learn he's asking you because you are his servant on the earth. And if he got you down here, he want to make sure you see what heaven's already seen. So do you see it? What is it I see it? If I tell him I see it not, guess what? He gonna route it right before me. That's what he's saying. So tell me, do you see it? Do you see it? Heaven's had already seen it before the foundation of the world, but do you see it? That's all he's saying. Just simple stuff. That's why I never, when I be telling y'all, he say, do you, what is it I see it? I don't play with that, y'all. I tell y'all what, if he asks me, what is it I see it when I'm in the wilderness? I tell him what I see. I ain't got time to tell you the lie so you can feel comfortable in your emotions and in your feelings. Because this is a creator speaking to my spirit, asking me, what is it I see it? He's talking about spiritual and natural. Tell me what you see. Because heaven's ain't seen it. I need you as my servant to tell me you see what I've already known and seen. That's why you're down here, to see it. See, so even when I'm telling y'all I have a lane, that lane is for you to understand. That's a protection place. Because everything on your left and your right, they ain't gonna mean you no good. That's what's behind you, ain't gonna mean you no good. So your lane is a form of that comfort, where you can have that peace that passes all understanding. And know that you will never feel that you're alone, because you got something in the lane with you. You know that he that is greater, that is in you, than he that is in the world. So you know you can't be alone. Oh, yeah, right. So you know I can sit and tell people what I'm actually seeing in the natural, as far as elders being alone, young people being alone. And the reason why y'all can sit and look at me all cockeyed and say that's not true, these young people ain't alone. Yes, they are. Look at the suicide rate. You can't look at it because the world ain't giving you the statistics. And because they're not giving it to you, you don't want to know no way, because, hey, I ain't young no more, so I don't want to know. But the truth be told, it's actually telling you a bigger message than you can even think and imagine. It's telling you up front that it is really a mess out here. Why do these young people feel that they, and when I say young people, y'all, I can say 30, 40, why do they feel in the end of their life they're living? And let me share something with y'all. When I look back over my life, and I ain't gonna say life, my living, and I think about my son that's 36, when he was 13, he committed suicide. He committed. He didn't tempt. I don't never tell nobody he tempted. Because when I found him, he was stone cold dead. Hello. So, but when I look back over that and I realized how sad it is that I got lost in the full understanding of what was taking place. When I look over back at that example of my son, let me explain something. When I tell you about men, when I, Sister Deborah, explain to you about men, Sister Deborah coming from a place that you would never, ever in your life be able to go. I'm coming from a total different realm. And you can look at me all you want, cockeyed, up and down. But when the truth be told, the truth has been spoken. I'm coming from a realm that 99.9 on this earth cannot enter therein. The product of these young people is the product of their fathers. Can they be the product of their mothers? No. They can come through the product of their mother's father, but never the mother herself. She has no sperm. You see? Those are the true. You know how heavens had the seeds? He told Satan that in your seed and her seed. Why? Because he owns all seeds. Deborah, you going there, ain't you? I'm going somewhere I didn't even know I was going to come back from. Heavens has the seeds. And these seeds holds the identity of each and every last one of us. So when we talk about the young people committed suicide, the young people battling today, when we talk about what they're struggling with, what they're going through, we talking about how they live in this way. They doing all that we see them doing. You all want me to tell y'all, give you a beautiful gift? Guess what? Everything that we as human beings see these young people doing that's wicked and evil. But let's put that wicked and evil there. But those things that you see in young people that's positive as well, they get that from their father. When I think of my son, and I felt really bad because the difference from his suicide is different from everybody else's. Oh yeah, take him there, Deborah. Go on, take him there and push him off the mountain. I'm gonna take you there and push you off the mountain real easy. The reason why his suicide is so different is because his suicide had a mission before he was born. Okay, and his mission wasn't for him; it was for me. They don't get that, Deborah. Oh yeah, Abraham was for you. Isaac was for you. Jacob was for you. So we go all the way back. It don't tell you Sarah, what's her name, and all the Jacob's wives. It don't bring you down her line. It takes you down that father's bloodline because y'all gave the seeds from the kingdom that came down to be planted in the father's sperm. So I'm sitting here dealing with my son and I'm raising him. And yes, he was the first grandchild, so y'all know he had everything. But this child was smarter than this whole world. This kid was so smart. And I never gave myself that. His intelligence, his IQ, I never gave it to me. He got that from his father. Sharp as a whip. Sharper than sharp. He got that from his father. That same ability to be as sharp as he was, he inherited from his father. His father was just like that too. Even when it came down to speed reading, this young man, even right here today with a head injury, he can pronounce word, break it down, give you the definition of it right before your face. I mean, any word you pull up. And you'll wonder, how did he do it? Oh, yes. See, I'm trying to show y'all his mission was predestined for my endurance. But it was for me to tell you, people. It was for me to be able to stand here and be able to give it to you. It's called testimonies. These are the testimonies that came from the kingdom. in the spirit realm to tell somebody in the natural realm how great the Father is in the spirit realm, knowing all things, predestined all things, foreknew all things. Baby, we are not alone. We think that we run this thing. We are not alone. We do not run this, baby. So what happens to the son? His father was an intelligent man. He went to school. He learned everything he learned. Straight A student. The ability to do any and every course in school, from elementary to high school. He was just that good. Anything he wanted to do, he mastered. He mastered. You see, when I signed him up in art institution, the college in Atlanta, Georgia, I signed him up. Did he have the skills? When he took his portfolio, they said, no, nobody, ma'am, nobody comes to this college knowing how to draw like this. Where did he get that from? His father. Hello. He got it from his father. So here this young man with all this intelligence, smart, very humble like his grandfather. What did I tell y'all? Didn't I tell y'all my father was a humble man? When my son got that same identical humbleness that my dad had. See, women, they don't come down to be yours. They come down to be an image of the Father in the kingdom and the Father in the flesh. Deborah, you better stop. You're going to get in trouble. You're going to be in trouble. You see? So I am not here to give you that which I think or feel I think I know. I sit back and say, you gave me all these children. He said, you know I gave them to you so you can tell somebody something. But Father, what I'm going to do at the end, I'm always whooping and hollering. Deborah, you have what you have so you can tell somebody what they got. Somebody have to go through it. I didn't get stuck in it. I went through it. Because there's an in out. There's an out. I went through it. So that I can be telling somebody once I come out what it's like to be in. But see, people don't have that mindset. These platforms have messed up the people's flesh mind to where the people don't want to hear nothing but that which is flesh that bring peace to their flesh. So let me explain. Now here goes my son. He got his daddy, IQ, intelligence. He's got his daddy's skills. When I enrolled him in Atlanta, Georgia Art Institution, everybody know it costs a lot of money to go there. And when he went in, did I enroll him? Sure I did. He had his own portfolio. They took one look at it and said, but ma'am, people don't come in here like this. This is expert. This is an expert. They normally don't join. They don't come to college like this. When they took one look at his portfolio. Y'all see what I'm saying? I'm a sister to tell you he got that from his daddy. His daddy got that ability to do stuff like that. Sister Deborah, was real good with drawing. But I ain't going to give myself that type of thunder the way he detailed and bring things to forward. Just looking and able to put it, oh man, y'all, if I showed y'all a picture, you would tell me you's a liar. That this young man did not do this. He didn't last no more than 3 months in the college because he had a head injury. He had a head injury. But let me show y'all the power of his head injury. I'm not alone, baby. I know that. I know I'm not alone. The power of his head injury was his first thing is at birth. I wanted to really just apply it at his birth. But the Holy Spirit wants me to apply it back to the Father first. Okay? Because that's the bloodline. That's the seed that's coming down his father. The hospital messed him up so bad, they gave him 3 days to live. Now, you got to understand, this child came in at 9 pounds. You didn't look at this baby and see this baby and say, oh, this is a newborn baby. This baby was buffed. You see? Came in big. You see what I'm saying? Looked like he was lifting weights. Okay? So he came in that way. And because instead of me having a C-section, a stupid doctor decided to force him out, and he tore up his head. So this kid came into the world, the devil trying to destroy him. You see? What was the devil going after, Deborah? You tell us, since you keep trying to say the devil, what is the devil going after? What did he go after? His head, right? All right then. See? Why? Because this man was coming into the world intelligent, smart, gifted, like unto his father. He was coming in like unto his father. So Satan was stopping him by destroying him. So he think he had him. He tore up his head so bad that the children's hospital doctors and nurse got mad at me because they wanted me to sue him and start right then and there while I was in the hospital. Sue the doctor. They said, if we have children born with this type of head injury, never. They come here with all kind of issues, but they don't come here because a doctor destroyed their head and caused them to have all these issues. So when they send me home 6 weeks later, they say, not 7 weeks later, they say, oh, he's going to have seizures for the rest of his life. He's going to be retarded. And he's going to be a waterhead. I brought that child home. I breastfed him. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell y'all. Sister Deb don't play. Every medication they gave me, I threw away. And I was 19. See, I ain't non-tolerant today, baby. I was non-tolerant yesterday. Hello. I have every reason to be non-tolerant to this world. With something so great as the Most High Yah Spirit in me, I have every reason to see this world and be non-tolerant to it. I threw it all away. My son never had a seizure. He never had a waterhead. And they was tagging his head every week. I had to go into the hospital. They had to measure it. He just came in big, his whole body. But his brain was so swollen, blood all running down his head, y'all. When that man messed him up, the baby had blood coming all down here. He had big old gashes in his head from the forceps. Blood running all out of his eyes. When they took that picture and brought it to me over in Bourne's Hospital, I said, oh, he just looked like a creature. That's how bad they messed him up. Dr. Jackson messed him up just that bad. Just that bad. Children's Hospital took a picture and ran it over there to me so I could see what he looked like, my son looked like, before they started hooking him up to the system. They gave him 3 days to live. And within that 3 days, they said, you need to go to the head of OB on this doctor, file a complaint right now, sue him till you can't make or deliver another human being. And this man was a black doctor. I could have ruined his career right then and there. I could have owned everything he had. I know he probably had insurance to pay off, but I could have made it bad for him, but I chose not to. See, I'm not who you say that I am. I'm who the I am that I am. A higher say that I am. So that's why I don't get too bent up and bent out when people come and go, when people like, when people dislike, because you really don't know who you are entertaining. And he told you that too. Watch out. You really don't know who you're entertaining. But they would entertain the darkness and find pleasure in their flesh day and night and day to search for people who give them the pleasure in their flesh. But what I'm speaking of is also showing you that I was never alone, nor are you alone. I went into that chapel. They said, well, ma'am, he's going to be dying in 3 days. So we're going to come pick you up every day, twice a day, so you can see him before he passes away. They gave my son 3 days. That first day they came and told me he got 3 days to live. They took me down. I said, I want to go to the place where I can pray. 19 years old. I went in there. You know what? Let me show y'all who I was yesterday to show you. Sister, you like that today. I went into that chapel. I got on my knees. My baby wasn't nothing but 2 days old. That's the second day they told me he was going to die. He only had 3 days to live. I went on to the chapel. I said, you can leave me alone. I got on my knees and I said something to the Father that I would never in my living forget. I said, now, you take him back. If you want me to live with this, I'm not. You take him back. Is this the only way you want to give me my son? Take him back. Either you take him back or you make him healthy and normal. You take him back or you give him to me healthy and normal. Sister Deborah, I'm telling y'all, I'm not the type of material that's on this earth to play with nobody. When I speak now, me being 19, who give you the authority to speak to the kingdom like that? The kingdom that was in me. Hello, that knew my thoughts. And I just spilled them out with my words in my flesh. And I put that charge right there. And guess what I did, y'all? I left it there. I said what I mean, and I mean what I said. At 19, I knew who I was talking to. I knew who I was before. Like I am today. When that was done, guess what happened? I went back up to my room. Here they come again that evening. Well, we're going to take you to see your son. He's in critical condition. They only gave him 2 more days to live. You know, I said, okay. They was looking at me like, hey, yeah, something wrong with you. We telling you your child ain't got nothing but 2 more days, and you walking around here like he got the rest of his living. But I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to show y'all today and yesterday and how you pull up on Yah. He'll answer your prayer, but he'll let you know, check, don't mess with me. Oh, yes, don't mess with me. So what happened? So I ended up having them coming back. I had to go from children's hospital back to my hospital, to children back, because, you know, the situation my son was in. And, you know, they always wheeled me in the chair and they took me over to the other side and to the children's hospital. So what happened is 3 days passed by and they said, well, this just looked like the blood is starting to disappear in his brain because he was bleeding all in his head. Yeah, that man messed that baby up so bad. So just imagine you all coming to the earth like that. What would you all say what was going on with the Creator to allow him to come to me like that? Anybody would think and know that for the Creator to have felt fit to send his servant, a child, in a way that it's going to be with her the rest of her living. And I ain't gonna say a stumbling block, but a block that's there. So when 3 days passed by and all of a sudden they telling me, oh, the blood in his brain seems to be vanishing. So as time go on, he end up getting better and better and better and better and better. And I said to the Most High, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. But guess what, y'all? That son that got his head tore up, I stayed firm and held on firm to that prayer. That if you're going to give them to me, like I said this to the father, and I ain't going to sit here and tell you no lie. I told him. Oh, yes, I told him. That if you can't give them to me healthy and normal, you take him back. And that'll be all right with me. So he began to get better, and he did get better. When he was released, it was like 6-7 weeks later. He got out. Brought him home, breastfed him, took care of him. Through all his medication, I think I had his medication 3 days. And he had like 6 medication. I threw them all away. I flushed them down. My mother said, "What you do with them?" I flushed them down the toilet. Hello. At 19. That's what I did. I raised my son. And if you see what he looked like, you'll always see that head bruise, the big old bruise on the side of his head where they messed his head up when he was a little boy. It was always there. It's not there now. You can't see it now. Only but just a slight. But since he's 46 now. So look at how the enemy brought this child in like this. This is this one that had a high IQ, made straight A's. This is the same one that I enrolled in the art of institution. And they were saying his work is not the type of work you come into a college with. This is professional work here. And they was like, well, how could he do that? Who could draw like this? You know, it's just a shock to them. So what happens? As he went on, he was a type of person, he did not like to play with girls. He felt they were, as a little boy, 5, 6, 7, y'all, you guys, we can play, but no females coming over here. He was just that type of person. My son had a really serious issue when he was like 23 and 24, 25. He had a very delicate weakness for women. He did not like how he heard anybody treating women, females, girls bad. He had a real hardcore, and truly, if the father wouldn't work on him, he probably most likely could have gotten himself killed because he was that type. It bothered him to hear anything that somebody did to a woman. Mentally, it's just something with him. It's just something about him that, I mean, when I say that, y'all probably take it light. Y'all might take it, but I'm serious. This young man was like this. He had issues with anything a man would do, or anything that someone would do to young children, females, teenagers, females, and women. He just didn't like that. That irks him even to today. He have an issue with that. And he'll show you his face reaction to show you it. And then you'd be like, "Ooh, somebody better get out of his way. He's gonna hurt somebody," because he don't like mentally he can't handle that sort of information. So what happened is he went on. I put him in every sport there was, and he mastered it. I mean, he was in ever since he was 5, he was playing football. Sugar Dad was out there playing football. Yeah, I love that type of stuff. I got him involved in every sport, baseball. Now, we didn't mess with soccer and volleyball. No, bro. You getting in football, basketball, baseball, and I mean, any activity and every activity since he was 5, I put him in. Oh, even when he hit high school, hey, I had him all lined up. I had him lined up. They had he had got in his freshman year. They chose him to be on it was varsity and B team football. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I kept that child in everything, and he was making good grades. But where I realized where Daddy came in is I began to see him as he was turning into this teenager. Began to see him in a way that I could see things going on with him. And guess what it was, y'all? Depression, all these downers was a, and I had no idea that he was depressed. I had no idea these issues were taking a toll on him. I said, you going to football for your first year in football, and you got to go to practice, and and all this and all this, and found out, not found out, but learned that he was depressed and he was going through. I did not know that he couldn't sleep. It's because he was depressed. I didn't know he was suffering through all that. I didn't understand all of that. I was looking at a young man make straight A's. He can play sports. He can do this here, but he's a loner. I didn't know that he had everything. Oh yeah, he had everything. I didn't know all these things that was going on that caused him to take one step further, and he committed suicide. You see, when I learned, and he was 15, when I had to talk to the neurologist and the doctor and all of them in the hospital, first thing they pulled out is a folder. They took me all the way back, y'all. They said, ma'am, your son didn't just commit suicide because he was just depressed. He was dealing with something. And I'm like saying, wait a minute now. Come on with it. What's going on? Well, ma'am, we got his files right here from Children's Hospital. They said your son had a major head injury when he was born. A major head injury when he was born. It's just so when he began to turn into his teenage years, he's starting to suffer from what triggered him to be in the situation that he was in. And I'm like saying, they saying, so he had a head injury from birth, and they connecting it to his suicide attempt, not attempt, his suicide. They connecting it to it. So what did I have to do? I had to go back to the files, pull all his records from Children's Hospital, and start to make all sense. And I realized that once you have had a head injury, you do suffer a great deal of things. You do suffer. There's things that follows throughout your living. So when I get to thinking about people who have mental issues and schizophrenia and bipolar, learning the way I've learned is a lot of it's demonic, because Satan found a way that he can destroy families, is to use the same things that can apply to somebody whose brain has been injured based on their reaction versus on somebody that just at this point been on drugs and been in this situation and have had no head injury to bring them to bipolar. And I'm like saying, you mean there's two bipolars? Yes. Because one is truly a head injury. It's called TBI. They can take you into a bipolar. And then there's a bipolar is when you've been on drugs or you having issues just living and issues with your thoughts and issues here. That's the demonic one. So you see how it was stolen to where it can be used, and it's used more than the TBI. And a lot of people don't even know that. So now you deal with a young man and you wondering this struggle. Now, y'all, this struggle was with me even to today. He has a vote rehab meeting Friday on the 20th. I don't know. I got to look on my calendar and see what date. I think it's Friday. He had a vote rehab meeting, and I have to attend there. So he's 46. Everything I have to be there, keeping notes, making sure he gets his rights, and making sure that people don't take advantage. And these women don't like that. They don't. Baby. They do not like it when I pull up with my son. Because they looking at this old, big old bodybuilder, handsome, tall, dimples, big dimples on both sides, light brown eyes, and he just sharp and he look good. And they looking at that and saying, what you got your mother attached to you? Your mother. And I had to chew them people out all the time. I have to chew them out. Because they can't see me having to, oh, Father, 30-something years, y'all. They don't know the files of boxes of medical conditions and things that he has suffered. You see? They don't even have no idea. They lusting after his body, what he looked like. Oh, he a man. Do he have any problems with me? Oh, no, I need you. Because he can't function. Now, oh, no, he can talk to women. He can talk to them, but they ain't going to get nothing out of them. You ain't going to get nothing out of them. You ask him what's his phone number, he ain't going to tell you because he don't know it. You ask him, where was he at yesterday, or what did he ever go to a meeting 2 days ago? He said, I don't know, I can't remember, because his long short-term memory. See, they can't believe that. The world did. See, y'all don't see the battle this sister still is going through. And I'm gonna tap in on it. Remember what I said? That I went down in that chapel and I said to the Most High, you can take him back. I did, y'all. I said, you can take him back. And unless you give him to me healthy and normal, you can take him back. Because they only gave him 2 days to live. So I'm down there just being straightforward, because I know that's him that's living in me. I can talk to him like that. I'm still that 4-year-old used to go in my mother's basement and go down there and talk to him. So you think I'm in the situation in this hospital where my son got 2 days to live and I can't go to the altar of the Most High? Come on now. I did just that, and I told him take him back. If this how you gonna give him to me, you can take him back. And I said, as long as you make him healthy and normal. What did I just tell y'all? You're looking at a 11.5 in height. Right now, he's 290-pound buffed. One of the most handsomest black men that you can find to look at. Okay? But what happened? Why do he have long short-term memory? Why? Because y'all did something. He said, okay, you coming into me, right? You come to me and you charged me. You said you wanted me to take him back. Unless I give him to you healthy and normal. When I look at my son today, I remember those very words that I said unto him. Take him back. Unless you're willing to give him to me healthy. And what am I standing here to say to you all? My son stand today. That same son that they gave 3 days to pass away. Brain totally torn up, bleeding from the inside, and he was bleeding from the outside. Brand new newborn baby. I never sued the hospital nor the doctor. And he was a black man, in case you didn't know that. I'm just saying that to you to let you know Sister Deborah ain't never had nothing against a black man, but I'm going to show you something. So I look back at it, and when I see my son, I see how handsome he is, and I sit there and I say, did not he give him to me healthy and normal? He's healthy and he's normal. Do we have a short-term memory? Yes. But did not he give him to me like I asked him? That's why that son is living right today as my oldest son, the oldest grandchild in the whole family. On both my dad's side and my mother's side. But didn't he give them back to me? But the thorn is to remind me. You think my son is caught up in it? No, he ain't caught up in it. He knows there's a lot of issues within himself. He hated, but he lives on. But Sister Deborah, stand here today and say, you can't tell me nothing. So 3 years ago, him and me and his father was talking. I went to telling him things about his son. All of a sudden, I heard a sniffle and a sniffle. He went on to telling me about my son from birth being like unto him. I think he was 9 pounds 13 ounces at birth. His father. My son was 9 pounds. He began to tell me about the struggles he had during the time my son had his struggles. He said, watch what he's saying, y'all. Watch what he's saying. He said, when I was 13, 14, and 15, everything you telling me that he was doing, I like to apologize. Because these are the things I was doing. And you know what I told him? I already knew that. Why? Because the Spirit of the Most High said that when that Holy Spirit comes, it will teach you all things. When you trust in that one that he said that would come and teach you all things, you got it made. Oh, y'all don't know how you have it made when you trust in that true teacher to come and teach you all things. He mean what he say, and he say what he mean when he said he would teach you all things. But he has to be in you to teach you all things, because he want to teach you it from the inside out. He don't want you to know it from the outside in, but he want to be able to teach you from the inside out. Is he on the outside? So why would he want the outside to teach you when he's on the inside? He said he will be your teacher, and he will teach you all things. So his dad was sitting there and he was sharing things with me, and he started, you can hear him crying. He said, because everything you telling me from when he was, teenager, and I never told you that I suffer from them same things, Deborah. And you know what I told him? I told him what I taught you all, those who have a spiritual backpack. This world got away. Father, yeah. This world got away with. This world got away with what y'all had invested in the men. They got away with not identifying the seeds. 2 seeds. When they speak in Genesis 3 and verse 15, it's telling you, I'm sending 2 seeds down. Satan didn't have a seed. It was what Yah was sending down. What was the deal with the seeds? There's only 2 kinds, Deborah. There's a spiritual seed and there's a serpent seed. Only 2 coming down. Here it is. We're in that day. And people have no idea the product of everyone that's on the earth is the product of their own father. And it goes to their father. It can even come down to woman through her father. Mm. Mm. So he was crying and telling me that, and he did, y'all. He apologized. He's always apologizing to me. And you know what that man always say? And I really appreciate him. That's why I don't hold a whole heart. He never took her as son, not a day in his life. And I never hold him accountable. I set him free. Because I knew who took care of my son in that hospital would be the same one that has to take care of him right now. So I got help. That's why I sit and I say to you all, you are not alone. You are as alone as you want to be. You want to be alone, you're going to be alone. But you don't have to be alone. Sister Deborah, can speak in such a stand of so much boldness, because I knew when I was 4, there was something in me talking through me, speaking to me, telling me things. 65, I stand before you, that same one telling me something every day. I'm learning every day. I'm like a child to him when he got to teach me every day. Do y'all know what that feel like? That feel good to know you're a child somewhere in the eyes of the Creator, where he has to come teach you every day. He has to spoon feed you. But you have to be in a state of mind of understanding. He has to live in you to work through you. He has to live in you just to work through you. So when I talk about a lot of things, and when I'm telling you what this world is and what it consists of, everything Yah sun down in every ways that Yah sun down, that came down in the 2s, either the spiritual or the serpent seed. Let's say the spiritual or the serpent seed, or you can say the dark seed or the light seed. They were the sperms in the man's womb. And just look. You know how they say a woman is to take care of the house and take care of the children, and man is to work? The father don't see it like that. He never seen it like that. He never seen it like that. He didn't put the seeds, the sperms, in a man so a man can walk away from it and not be fully liable for it. It's just like giving you let me give you an example. Just like giving you a brain, and he holding your mother responsible for your brain. No, he holding you responsible for your brain, because that's your brain. Well, that's how the sperms are. They don't come from you women. They come out of these men. Here the world is going to be destroyed. Here's the world is down on the downside slide and don't even know. It ain't that they don't know. The elites, them, they know. They know. I've even heard a lot of European even say it. They break it down. There's a lot of them out there telling you. But you have, when I say a lot, I'm talking about like 1%, less than 1% out there seeing it. But I know that it's out there. And this is why nations and tribes can't get they stuff together. It's because they are not together in understanding the creation itself has been forsaken to where people don't get it. You see? So I'm sitting here listening to his father sit here, and this was like 3 years. He was 3 years ago, and he do a lot of crying to me because he always talk about how his other three sick children, they dead now. His other three, because they follow the same protocol in what he did in life. They lived the same way he did, and they're dead. Same identical way he lived, they lived. You see what I'm saying? But he's trying to say when at least the father put a seed in one that brought forth good fruit. That's what he's saying about my son. That Yah chose me to bring him one seed that was good. He loves his father. His father loves him, even though his father never took care of him. You think I'm going to be on his back? You think that I'm going to be running, telling him you didn't spend time, no, I never did. And my son saw that. But my son, to tell you, he didn't like nothing. He had his pawpaw there. He had his uncles there. He did not like anything. But yet in all, you would never know, and you would wonder, how can a son, watch this, how can a son have that much respect for his father when his father never had the respect to lead and guide him, to take care of him, and to steer him? How could he have that much respect? You know what his father says? My son, father says, because of you, the person that you are. He got all sisters, that's older than he is. And they sitting, and the oldest is Pearl, and I think Pearl should be about like 94. And she looks like she's like 70, but she's not like 94. She say, Deborah, I'm telling you, I done raised some sons and so much stuff didn't happen in my family, but I'm so glad. I'm so glad Raymond ain't like them. You see what I'm saying, y'all? My child and my children are the product of what Yah and only Yah has ushered me. I'm the spiritual mission, Yah. You see, I'm the spiritual mission to take a hold of all the issues, put them around my learn, walk into this devil platform and teach somebody something that I've already gone through, that they don't have to. That's what testimonies are for. And when we share something with you, young people don't have no idea that's what parents are for. They're your testimonies. But we don't want to teach them that. We fail to teach them that. We fail to give them that type of understanding. And I want to say this to y'all while I'm here. I look back over my living and my living on this earth, and I see the Most High all over it. Even through the bad times, I still saw him. I saw him carrying me. Even to this very day. This sister tired? Oh, y'all, I'm tired. I'm tired and tired. In the last probably couple of months, have embraced even the ideal of death. You know why? I come to understand that what is there to live for? What is there to live for? Now, Sister Deborah, look at the ideal of being the servant of the Most High God. That's the only thing worth living for. But me embracing death is saying, okay, Father, I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid anymore. You know what brought me to that level? Is realizing they'll never get it. They'll never get what my Father is, was, and going to be. And to understand that they will never get it. I'm sitting here talking about a topic. You are not alone. And no matter how high and how low I break that thing down, in my spirit, I know they would never get it. So it makes me look at the ideal of, okay, Father, I'm just here to serve you. Where you want me to go? What you want me to say? What you want me to say? What you want me to do? Where you want me to serve? Where you want me to do? What you want me to do, Father God? Father God, what you want me to do? Because it ain't nothing else. It ain't nothing else you can do. And you can't just say anything, because the only thing that you have to say is the things that only represent him and how he brought you through and the testimony he has wrapped around you to give to somebody today. So suicide can come from a bloodline, lineage. If men have been on drugs and men have been on alcohol, don't forget they have to build up sperms. See, men don't know everything that you're taking in. You're shaping and molding your sperms. You're actually sending your sperms living out based on the way you conduct yourself. Are they going to face that? No way ever. As long as this earth exists, why they not? Because they lost it in Genesis in the beginning. When he created man, he missed it. He missed it in the beginning. The rib coming from out of it, you guys. I don't want to believe nothing they wrote in them books no more. Because the reality, nothing can come out of a man's rib. But y'all put him sperms. That can come out. He know how he formed flesh. You see? Even being put to sleep. It might not even have been a sperm, y'all. You see? But we have to believe. No, hey, cut it out, Deborah. Cut it out. Not no we. People have to believe what they can see and kindle in their own self, fleshly mind and heart to believe. But the truth, if you really look really deep in it, you realize that it was always the sperms. It was always the sperms. It's where the seed came down from the kingdom. The seeds he told Adam about. Not Adam, Satan. He told him there will be two seeds. And they will always be against each other. Because they both got hate in them, but hate toward another. How did they miss it in all these churches and all these cathedrals, all these synagogues, all these temples, all this YouTube? How did all these people miss that? How did all these men miss the fact that they sperm hold the living? The personality of the living. The mindset of the living. So when his father went telling me, I'm like, I think my son was 50. No, he was 40, not 50, 43. No, he was 44 when he was telling me that. His dad was telling me that. He said, all those things he suffered, I suffered too when I was a young boy his age. And I was like, oh, yeah? And then I broke him down like I'm telling y'all. I said, come down that bloodline. And he said, nobody had never mentioned that. He had never heard that. I said, see, this is what I'm saying, you all. Everything is not for everybody. But I also say to you, you're not alone. You're not alone. And that can go many ways. You're not alone. Many people are alone by choice. But you don't have to be alone. Because Sister Deborah, would never tell you all I've been alone. I have not. I have never been alone. The Father has always been in me. I have never been alone. He'll make something that don't make sense, not only in the spirit realm, but in the natural realm as well. That's how awesome he is. That's how awesome the Creator is. The Father says for me to let you all know, because I was trying to figure out how I could fit that into the message. Be ready and be found doing. He wants me to let you know to be ready is not the readiness of the flesh. It's the readiness of the spirit. And to be found doing is doing the work in the spirit, not the work in the flesh. You see, everything that you do in the spirit rolls out to the flesh. Because once it is mastered in the spirit, it controls the actions of the flesh. But he wants me to tell you to be ready, okay? And be found doing. Many people really believe, 99.9, I'm going to nail it on top. They think that, hey, I don't have to be doing nothing and I don't have to be ready. I know I'm in there. I'm just going to lock it in. No. He said, be ready. He wants you to know. He's talking about young and old. He's not saying be ready to leave up out of here. He said, be ready right in here. You see, people are ready to get up out of here. They ready for y'all to take them up out of here. But most people thinking they going to a place called Mount Zion, and some people thinking they going to the kingdom to party hardy. But he's sending a message to you all today to be ready and be found doing. All the parables were set and based on the ones that were ready, and what else? They were found doing. All the talents, the 2 talents were doing something with their talents, and the 1 was doing nothing. The 10 virgins, 5 virgins were doing something with their oil, but the other 5 had no oil to do nothing with. So when you think about being ready, he's not, let me give you, he's putting something in my head right now. He said, explain what I'm showing you. He's showing me the 10 virgins. They came down here. But when they came down, 5 had oil and 5 didn't. So that shows you, you didn't come down here as if you was all about you. And hey, I got this. I know I got it. I got my ticket. I know I'm spirit and truth. I know I got the light. I know I'm there. No, they didn't come down here like that. They came down with the oil. See, that's what, no one would ever preach that and teach that to y'all. Because people's ignorance is too low to comprehend the basic things that's being lied to. They can comprehend, they can't even comprehend the basic of the lie itself. So if you got 10 virgins, you had 5 wise and 5 foolish. They came down here like that, child. 5 had oil and 5 didn't. That's what represent 5 foolish and 5 wise. So they came down here with the oil. The same thing in Genesis chapter 3 and 15. He told Satan straight up from the floor up, there's 2 types of seeds coming to this earth. The dark one and the light one. Pull up. You won't even grip it. Mentally, you can't grip it. Because it really identified which seed are you. Notice that everything that they did like unto each other. It was no difference, y'all. There was no difference between these virgins. There was no difference outside of what was in them. The oil. It takes the oil to light. So therefore, they had something in them. They gave them the ability to be the light. But they came down here like that, people. That's why it was explained. It wanted you all, they wanted us that can take a hold of it and break it down in the spirit and in the natural to the people. And so the people can use it with power. But the people can't even use it with power because they don't understand it. But that's because you have to have the Holy Spirit in you to teach the people. But today, people don't care who teach them. They don't care what food they eat. They don't care about no wisdom, no knowledge. They don't even care about any understanding, which is the Holy Spirit. They just figured, hey, I'm just going to be just like the other 5, the foolish ones. That's who people are today. They're the foolish ones. So if you ever think about how the trumpet was blown, all 10 heard. They all 10 went to trim, but only 5 entered their end. But there was only 5 that was wise. They came down wise. There was only 5 that always had the oil. So see, you're not using and abusing and thinking you're taking advantage of no one human on this earth. It's when you think that you can pour the wool over the Creator's eyes as if you can master the understanding of things that you cannot. And that's why you live in the lie and not the truth. That's why you live in darkness and not light. Because the same 5 that came down as wise, it wasn't what they did that caused them to gain what they had. Whoa, go there, Deborah, go all the way. But one thing about them, whatever they came down here with, it nailed them as the wise one and not the foolish. So whatever they came down here with, it had to be something that represent Yah. So that's why I said y'all playing too much with yourself. And I know it. You think it ain't you know, you got so much time. Like with me, all this pain running through my body. It's no way I'm gonna play like I'm gonna be here tomorrow. Baby. Sister Deborah ain't like that. I sit back and I say, now, Father, where that pain come from? Where is that? Wait a minute. Where is that coming from? What is that? Wait a minute. Hold up, Father. What is that? To the point where I had to step into a realm of the spirit and see the blessing of to be absent is to be living. To be in the life, what you call life, I call eternal. So even though you feel these pains and you're trying to do all the things to keep healthy, don't be afraid of dying. Because me, myself, I'm looking at, oh, I got my grandbaby, I got all these kids crying, all these things hurting because of the way they're going to feel if something happens to me. And Father said, don't. And I'm so grateful that He allowed me to live, to be able to accept death in its own body. Because I'm the one that out of nobody should be afraid. I have had eternal living in me since I was 4, that I know of, since I was 4. What are you afraid of? Eternal been holding you up for the longest. And you don't want to die. But dying to me is feeling sorry for everybody else. I think that's that empath that's in me. It's something in me that feels sad for others if I was gone. And it might not even be that, but that's just me feeling like that. I picture my children and how they would react if something happened to me. And I shouldn't do that. But I do. And I can't. I feel like I can't help it because I figure that's the mother side of me, you know? And that's the part I had to shake off and I had to let go. And say, they'll be all right. They'll be all right. That's it. So when the Father says, tell them to be ready and be found doing, He's just letting you know. It ain't time to go backwards. It's time to look and walk forward continually toward the light. Because the whole world going backwards in more deeper and deeper darkness. Can y'all see that? Or maybe you can. Okay. I think it takes you to have the light to see the darkness. I don't think if you ain't got the light, you can't see the darkness. You got to have the light living in you. And again, you are not alone. You never were. Adults connect the elders with the young and the young with the elders. Stop being selfish, self-centered, me, mine. I'm going to keep the grandchildren and the children away from my parents and their parents, parents and their grandparents. It's a form of wicked and evil. And you're playing it in the center. These young people, when I say young people, y'all got to understand, I'm talking about 30, 40 on down. They need some interacting with the elders. And the elders needs to interact with the young from 40 and under. And you that's in between that as elders, 50, 60, 65, 70, if you can make a difference in just branching those two together is a blessing inside of a blessing, instead of bringing and allowing a lot of hate and allowing and entertaining a lot of the ways of the young people, because a lot of people are allowing the young people to get away with any and everything just to get along with them. That's so sad. That is, you know, y'all, I would be dead if I had to do that. I'm just a non-tolerant type of person. I'm not going to bend over backwards to make my children or to make them think that I want to get along with them. And the only way I need to do that is to allow to allow their ways to override what is right and what is wrong. No, you're not going to use me in a way that, as long as I do what you tell me and I do it the way y'all want to do it today, they don't understand why generation is lost today. It's not because of the mothers, y'all. It's because generations was lost yesterday. And no one picks up the baton off the ground and bring them back together, and they're not going to. So the Father want me to say to you that you're not alone, because he's forever, ever in the midst of all things in the heavens and on the earth. So you're really not alone. A lot of people are living alone because this is what they choose to do. They chose to do. And a lot of times people don't know, when you're out here with that mindset of, you know, me, mine, heavens ain't going to embrace you at all. You're going to live and die that way. It ain't going to go nowhere. You need your nieces, your nephews, your great nephews, your great niece. You need your cousins all around you, and they need you. They should always be together, but there's a division. Y'all don't see that division, and I know y'all don't. There is a division of people that has divided the elders from the young. And those that are dividing the elders from the young, guess what they done, y'all? Want me to tell you what they done? They left mama in a nursing home. They left daddy in a nursing home. They don't see their parents at all. They don't commune with their parents. They moved out of town. They don't take care of their parents. They put them elsewhere. And they going on by their life. They're living. That's the one in the middle, y'all. That's why you got suicide on one side. And you got elders, lonely, dying lonely, nursing homes, all kind of places where people are total strangers doing them all kind of ways, knowing that the person in the middle ain't coming to see them. I had to, y'all know how many adults I had to chew out? And I'm not afraid of it. I step straight into them. They find me the type of person so easy to talk to. She listen, and I do. I'm a real good listener, because I can hear behind what you said. I can hear behind what you said. So I'm sitting here listening to them, and this is all I hear. More, my mother, she had to work 2 jobs. She brought us up. She took care of us good. She made sure we wasn't without. And we never, our dad never came around. Our dad didn't do this. Our dad didn't do this, but mama did this. Mama did this. I said, oh wow. How many is it of you all? Oh, it's 8 of us. Oh, your mother got 8 children? Yeah. Oh, I said, wow. So you got 8 siblings? I'll be breaking down, y'all. I'll be breaking that thing down. You got 8 siblings? Yeah. And I got 2 brothers that are attorneys. Me and my sisters are school teachers, and I have a sister. She's a judge, and I have a brother, 2 brothers. One in the military, and the other brother is a police chief. I said, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But we all over the place. We in different states. I said, okay. Yeah, but my mother was a good mother. We cannot deny mama wasn't good. Mama was this, mama was that, mama was that. Where is mama? Mama in a state that nobody's in. She's in a nursing home. Do y'all know throughout my living, I've heard that so many times that I sit back and I look at a people and I say, see, I know I'm right when I say they home. I've heard so many that have had 5 and more children, and she did an excellent job. She did good, and not one child come back to take care of mama. Mama's somewhere in somebody's nursing home, and they see him once a year. You know how that's it. And no one would see that. No one would see nothing wrong with that. No, people don't see nothing wrong with that. They think that stuff is okay. See, you see how right is wrong and wrong is right? You see? People don't see stuff like that. Oh, that ain't nothing wrong with that. And then the next thing you know, the same route happens to you. And that's why I say when you come down to in-laws, don't look for the daughter-in-law to really be the one that enhance her husband to spend time with the mother. That's out of the question. You can do a survey on that. That's out of the question. The son has to know the love that he has with his father. I mean, with his father or with his mother or with his parents cannot be erased because you got a wife. And this is just sickening because what they don't understand, love, I'm not into that type of love, but what they don't understand is when you have what you call love, you can have a plant and you can love it. You can have plants and you can love your plants. You feeding them, you get plant food, you nourishing it. You can really be in love with your plants. Guess what you can have? You can have a garden. Guess what you can have? You can have a cat. You take that cat to get trimmed, to get her shots. You take care of that cat. You feed that cat good food. You see, you can have a dog and care for it. Well, this same caring, whether y'all understand it or not, it's really a relationship that you have with an individual or a thing. But when someone tells you that no, that type of relationship, I want it all applied to me, especially the relationship of loving your mother, I need you to show me and display to me that you're loving me is more than you would love her, because it's time to detach from her to love me. Any man that would come on these devil platforms and say, my wife comes before my mother, is the dumbest man on the face of the earth. Because before your wife can come before your mother had you before you had your wife. How dumb do you sound? You see how I tell y'all, people use, I call it their rectum. They talk out their rectum. Because if you really think about what you're saying, you can't even make it make sense. My wife comes before my mother. I put my wife before my mother. You stupid fool. You stupid dumb fool. Before your wife was even born, your mother had you. So how did she come before your mother? See, they don't know how to put it in the right perspective because men have not learned the protocol of the Most High God. They took it and they relayed and they translated based on how the wife says the order is supposed to go, or how the world says. But you have to come from the standpoint of how the Creator says it. And you got to understand, when he said you're leaving, he's letting you know, man, you stay with your mother until you stay with your mother and father 10, let's say 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old. If you go by the protocol of what you're reading, he said a man leave his mother and father. He didn't say a man go out and get his own place. He didn't say a man go out to go to the military. He didn't say a man go out and buy his own house. He said, man, you sit your tail in there until you leave your mother and father. Stay with your parents until you leave and find you a wife. So you see what I'm saying? So if they really want to follow the protocol, what does it say? A man leave his mother and wife, his mother and his father. Well, where is he leaving? To cleave to his wife. But what? Okay, so he's not supposed to leave his mother and father until then? Exactly. You see, they so dumb. So when they take all that, they have to make sure they're at the altar and understanding what he's saying. And when you come into a relationship, you got to make sure that your wife understands this was a love before you. I'm not decreasing this love. And I'm not going to increase your love to decrease that love. You see, but the men don't have, I call it balls to enough to know things that the heaven has created in a protocol and in the area that where you got to make everything balanced. So this is the question I asked the father. So why do the daughter-in-law feel that, or the mother-in-law feel, why do the mother and daughter-in-law has to have beef between each other? Now it's enough that the daughter and mother and the mother and daughter, but the daughter-in-law, that's not the bloodline. He was saying because there are mothers trying to hold on to their sons. And there are women that's marrying these men that want all the love from their husband to apply to them. Not understanding. I'm coming down low, y'all, because I'm speaking in the parable. I'm bringing it down low to the word love, okay? Because that's the way people seem to grip it. So therefore, they just assume that the mother might want to keep having the love that her and her son, or relationship her and her son have, not wanting to give up the fact that now he has a wife. You have to set him free in that way, so him and his wife can be that one. That's where you let go in that. But you never let go to where you getting your wife to say things that she comes before your mother. Use a food, because if you needed any type of anything, at surgery or bloodline or anything, just say you needed blood. Your wife can't give it to you. You still got to go back to your family. You see what I'm saying, y'all? Do y'all get what I'm saying? A lot of things you need a kidney. Your wife, now you can get a kidney from anybody, but what I'm still saying is you can't put your wife on a pedestal to give her that inner idea planted in her mind that you're my all in all. Let me set an example. We were in the hospital and she had my grandson. And I mean, the baby was not even 2 days old, and she was sitting up in the bed, and her mother and I was there, and like 3 other nurses. We were all in the room. And she said, I can't wait to get home, to take him home, so him and Joseph and I can be a family. And I said to myself, what do a young person do? Why, you're 27. Why would you say that? Why? And I was wondering, where was that coming from? Where is that type of coming from? But when my son feeds into it and gives her the impression that it's about me, you, and little Joe, and it's us only, and I'm gonna show you that I'm gonna love you and put you first by showing you the example, then he didn't fell down the steps and he can't get up, especially with me. When I see him going in that way, it'll be hard for him to really build anything with me as it always been, because it shows me that you're weak. You're weak in the area in which you serve the Creator. You lost that. He no longer served the Most High. Y'all, he don't say nothing about that. He used to be down every week talking about, let's talk about this verse. He's not because of the baby, just waiting for the baby. Because I told them when I was counseling them in marriage counseling, I was telling her, same thing I'm telling y'all about love. It's enough love that Joseph had that he can spread. The love don't mean just you. It means everybody. He can love his son that he's gonna have. He can love and I heard some women are like that. They won't even the love, they don't want the child, the father to even love the child. They want the love to be applied to her first and then the child. But see, you're wrong because it's the same word, love. Who can only have a limited amount to where it has to go to you first and then maybe you and maybe over there too? You see how sickening the mindset of people think? It's sickening. He asked me yesterday, he said, Mama, you think, him and her, you think you can keep the baby every Wednesday? I said, sure. I don't have no problem with that. I think that's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. I don't have no problem with that. It's a good thing. But I'm just still saying that a lot of things don't have to be the way that it is. But it is because it's so much that everybody is adding into living that's unnecessary. They're doing too much. And then the thing about them doing too much, they're doing it in the darkness. They're doing it out of cunning and wicked and evil. But I, Sister Deborah, start this message out with, you are not alone. And the Father wants me to let you know you're not alone because he's forever present. And the same thing with Judah. Judah has to teach spirit and truth and the light to Judah, because Judah is Jacob and Jacob is in trouble. And the first one of the tribes of Jacob that's in trouble and that's going to see the effect of trouble is Judah. And the Father wants me to say to you that he has always had that stretched out hand, even though he had his face turned away from you, even though his anger was still kindled, he still has a stretched out hand to you. So I'm saying it's not just to Judah as a tribe, but I'm saying it to each and every last one of you all out there that are found yourself to be Judah. That Yah say that he still has a stretched out. No matter what you've done, what you said, what you continue to do, he's letting you know, reach out for the power, and the power will pull you in. So I, Sister Deborah, say unto you all, have a wonderful, what today is? Oh my, yeah. I didn't do all my exercise and I was going to do an intense workout. And I'm going to get to that today anyway. So I say unto you, I hope you have a wonderful day. And I say unto you, shalom and shalom.